Hi there, it's Łukasz for the Tech Travel Geeks, and this is a sample video for the Nothing Phone 2A, which is the latest phone from Nothing. We are here in beautiful Edinburgh, near the Edinburgh Castle, and we are filming on the front-facing camera in 1080p, which is unfortunately the only resolution for front-facing camera. But the video will be exported to 4K, so you'll be able to see it upscaled to 4K. We're also recording in 30 frames per second. There is a 60 frames per second option as well, but I don't find it useful unless you want to do some slow motion. It's not too useful for front face camera. So let me switch to the back facing camera, to the main camera right now. So now we're filming in 4K 30 frames per second using the main camera. Unfortunately, there's no way to switch between cameras during filming, so you can't switch between front-facing, back-facing or ultra-wide, which is available on some other devices, not on this one. The only thing you can do is to zoom in using the digital zoom, so you can zoom into the castle 2x zoom and zoom back out, but you can't use the ultra-wide camera while you're recording. There's a pause button, but unfortunately there's no way to change the lenses. Speaking of which, let's switch to the ultra-wide camera right now. So this is the ultra-wide lens on the Nothing Phone 2A, still filming in 4K 30 frames per second, which is great. The camera is 50 megapixel, both the main and the ultra-wide, so they're quite good. But from what I've seen, the photos aren't as good on ultra-wide. Let's hope the video is better. The field of view is quite wide, so that should be good. But for the video quality, you can see for yourself. The weather here in Edinburgh is quite chilly. It's a bit overcast, but for Edinburgh it's quite good weather. But it's a bit windy and there's some noise around me. We're not using any external microphones, just the one on the phone, so you can judge the audio quality yourself. I also did a screen recording of the user interface, but the audio wasn't recorded, so I'm recording it at the studio using the Nothing Phone 2.8's microphone. We can switch to slow motion, and I recorded a quick sample later in the day. It records in 1080p and exports to 30 frames per second, already slowed down, so I'm not exactly sure what the original frame rate is. Back in the main interface, you can switch between the main lens, ultra-wide, and 2x digital zoom, but again, not while recording. You then have the photo mode, portrait mode, and in the more section, you can use a time-lapse, a panorama, or most interestingly, there's an expert or pro mode, which I wasn't expecting. In there you can select the aperture, white balance, shutter speed, ISO, and exposure compensation, and even the RAW mode, which was really surprising to me. You can also change the aspect ratio or enable the grid, which I already had done earlier. The button to change lenses is a bit hidden in the bottom right, so it's good that it's still there. Back in the video mode, you can change the resolution on the left of the screen, either 4K 30, 1080p 30, or 1080p 60 frames per second. Let's test the image stabilization now. So this is the image stabilization in 4K 30 frames per second without action mode. I'm just walking slowly to see what the image looks like. I'm trying to hold the phone without moving it, but we'll see. And this is the action mode, which is supposed to be like the stabilization. It records in 1080p, so not 4K anymore, just full HD. And we'll see how good it is. Some people have reported some blurriness or not the best video quality, so we'll have to compare those. And let's also try and do some image stabilization on the front-facing camera. I'm guessing it might not be the best, so you can judge for yourself. There's no active mode or action mode from what I can see. Also, one downside is there's no wide versus normal view on the front-facing camera like I'm used to on the Pixel phones and other devices. You can only have the main zoom and you have to pull your arm quite far to have a good view. So yeah, let's see what it looks like on YouTube and on your device. And here's some more footage. Near the Arthur Seat here in Edinburgh, filming again in 4K 30. No extra stabilization. It's around 6 p.m. so it's getting a bit dark. There's the Edinburgh Castle, which we've seen earlier but quite far away. That was double digital zoom, and I'm just turning around showing you the lovely views here in Edinburgh. And we're using the main camera as mentioned before. Lovely. Let's try ultra wide again. And this is the ultra wide camera, still 4K 30, showing you what it looks like when I look around. Again, the Edinburgh Castle is far away from here, but I can't really zoom in. And some runners here. I'm on my bike. And yeah, that's it. Alright, and that's me back at the studio to show you what the best case scenario is for this camera. So I'm recording in 4K 30 on a tripod and with some decent studio lights and with some background lights behind me for some color. Unfortunately, you won't see any depth, any background blur. If you want to compare with what my normal webcam looks like, which is a Panasonic GH5, you can see proper background blur with a good lens. So this is not as good, but you could use this, I guess, especially for just basic Zoom calls. So what are my thoughts about the camera overall? The video quality is not the best, but it's alright. You can judge it for yourself. The shakiness wasn't as bad as I expected with a normal mode. The active mode I wasn't the biggest fan of. It was quite blurry. The 1080p resolution wasn't the best, so not the best. Similarly, with when it gets darker, the video quality isn't the best, and the ultra wide camera's quality isn't as good as the main one. But this is to be expected with lower range phones. This phone is not a camera phone, so you should be happy with just the basic functionality, I think. The photos are not too bad, and the video, if you need it, you can use it. This phone is all about the looks, about the LED lights on the back, which are great, and the battery is really good. As I mentioned in the unboxing, it's 5000 milliamp hours. And overall the phone is quite good. Just don't expect the best camera, especially for video quality. But do let us know what you think about the video quality of this device, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have more videos coming soon, so make sure to subscribe to Tech Travel Geeks to see more videos from us. But for now, thanks for watching.